Alright guys, this is the notes for the triangles worksheet. So that's the SAT likes to do triangles, and we're going to do everything we can with the triangles. So first thing, a triangle obviously has how many sides? Hopefully you said 3 sides. A triangle has 3 sides. It has 3 sides, and it has um, 3 angles. Sorry, and all the angles add up to 180. So again, triangle has 3 sides and adds up to, all the angles add up to 180. You'd be surprised how many questions it asks just on this. A lot of people still seem to get it wrong. So let's do an example. So let's say everybody knows this means 30. So let's say this is 20. So what is x? Well, again, everything in a triangle, they all add up to 180. So 180 is equal to 90 plus 20 plus x. So 180 is equal to 110 plus x. Subtract 110 from both sides. X is equal to 70. X is equal to 70. So basic example. These are a lot. They do a lot of easy questions with this. So please be ready for that. All right, triangles. There's a couple. All right, let's go with one of the rules for triangles. So again, the triangle has 3 sides, A, B, and C. And the only way it can really be a triangle is if, now you have to know this, A plus B, so the sides of A plus B has to be greater than side C. Not equal to, but greater. So if this was, let's say this was 4 and this was 6, then this, so this is 10, so this has to be 9, 8, 7, or anything after, below 10. But it cannot be 10. And then it's the same thing. So A plus C is greater than B, and B plus C is greater than A. So basically saying the sum of 2 sides of any 2 sides of the triangle has to be greater than the other side. Okay, so the sum of this 2 has to be bigger than that. The sum of these 2 have to be bigger than that. Okay, so the main thing is just try to remember the sum of 2 sides of the triangle has to be bigger than the other side. Okay. Alright, they asked a couple questions about this. So please know that. Again, the sum of 2 sides has to be bigger than the other side. Alright, now we're going to do special triangles. So we all know the equilateral triangle. I know it's not pretty, but don't laugh at my drawings. Equilateral triangles, all sides are the same. So all sides are the same means each angle is the same. So again, if that's x, x, and x, 3x has to equal to 180, so x is equal to 60. So if a triangle has 60 degrees, sorry, if all the angles inside the triangle are 60, then it is an equilateral triangle. So you have to remember, yeah, so, okay, yeah, equilateral triangles. Now we're going to do isosceles triangles. Isosceles means just 2 sides are the same. If these 2 sides are the same, then this angle, it has to be the same as that angle. Okay? If two sides are the same, then their corresponding angles are also the same. So you gotta remember the angle corresponds to the opposite side. So this angle corresponds to this side. This angle is for this side. Okay? So again, a isosceles triangle has 2 sides, which has 2 equal angles. Okay? Please remember that. And then you have all the other triangles, which are obtuse, scalene, and everything, but it doesn't really matter. Main thing is, they have to add up to 180. Now we're going to do special right triangles. So right triangle is just a right triangle with the right angle. So these two have to add up to 90. So this angle and that angle have to add up to 90 degrees, since this is already 90. Okay, so now we all know that you can always do Pythagorean's theorem. So a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. You can only do this with right triangles. Okay, you can't do this for isosceles, any other triangle. It has to be a right triangle. Okay, so side a squared plus side b squared has to equal to side c squared. All right, we all know that it's all pretty simple. The SAT also loves to work on a lot of the triplets. For example, let's say it's a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. 3, 4, 5 right triangle. That's one of the most common ones. And they also like to do the multiples of them. So 3, 4, 5 right triangle is always true. So is a 6, 8, 10, 9, 12, 15, and so on and so on. Since this is true, the multiples of them too. So if you know any other triplets, it's going to be the same thing. You just any multiples of them are going to be true as well. Okay, so they like to do this a lot. They don't necessarily do a 3, 4, 5, but they'll do a 6, 8, 10. But again, this is only for a right triangle. All right, now we have two special kinds of right triangles. Oops, sorry, do it too much. We have the 45, 45, 90 right triangle. So if this angle is 45 and this angle is 45, then these two sides are going to be the same. Okay, those two sides are going to be the same. Now, let's say this side's A, so it makes this side A. Now, the hypotenuse is going to be A times square root of 2. So if this leg was, it was a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and this leg was 5, then this will also be 5, and then the hypotenuse will be 5 square root of 2. You don't believe me? You can do the Pythagorean's theorem, and you'll get the same. You'll get the right thing. You'll get 5 square root of 2. The next one will be a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. Kind of the same thing. So this is 90, this is 30, and this is 60. Now you have to remember, this is 30, so 30 always corresponds to the smaller side. Let's say A. 60 always corresponds to the longer side, and then 90, of course, is going to be the hypotenuse. Now, if the short side for 30, 60, 90 triangle is A, then the hypotenuse is going to be twice of that, and then the leg is going to be A times square root of 3. Okay? If A is 2, then it's going to be 2, this is going to be 4, and this is going to be 2 squared root of 3. Again, you don't believe me, do Pythagorean's theorem, you're going to get the same thing. Okay? Yeah, and one more thing I forgot to talk about is this area. We all know area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Base times height. So any triangle, this is your base, and then this is your height. Okay, and this is your height. Not this, but this is your height. Now, for right triangles, the area is just leg A times leg B divided by 2. Okay, doesn't matter if it's drawn this way, if it's drawn that way, or if it's drawn this way. Okay, the area of a right triangle is leg A and times leg B divided by 2. Okay, that's always going to be true for a right triangle. It's just the two legs, multiply them, and divide by 2. That's going to be the area. Okay, again, it doesn't matter if it's this way, that way, or even I don't know any other way. I guess this way. It's still going to be A times B divided by 2. Okay, that's pretty much it. So again, remember the area of a triangle is, I mean, all the angles inside a triangle have to add up to 180. Okay. In order for it to be a triangle, two sides, the sum of two sides has to be greater than the other. Greater than, strictly greater than, not greater than or equal to, just strictly greater than. Special triangles, equilateral triangle, all sides are the same, so all angles are the same, so each angle has to be 60. Isosceles triangles, two sides are the same, so two angles are the same. And then we have the special, then the right triangle. So the 45, 45, 90 rule, 30, 60, 90 rule. Now, if you happen to forget this, in the front of each math section, this is going to be there. Okay. So if you ever get stuck and the SAC, they just give you like one number, like they give you 45 degrees and the right angle, and then they give you one of these numbers, and you forget and you forgot the rule, then just go to the front of your math section, and it's gonna have this figure there, and also this figure. Now the 30, 60, 90, you have to remember that the short side is always with the 30 degrees, and the longer one is always with 60. Okay, you have to remember that. It's not always going to be drawn this way. It's going to be drawn different ways. So again, 30 degrees corresponds to the short side, 60 degrees corresponds to the longer side, and obviously 90 with the hypotenuse. Okay, with that, try to work out the triangle worksheet, and just check back and get the answers.